Caroline Leavitt, the White House press secretary, appeared on Fox News this morning, and she was asked, should Americans be worried that since Trump is getting a free 747 from Qatar, that he might be incentivized to want something in return or something like that? And Caroline Leavitt says, no, there's no need to worry about that. It's just a little favor. It's just a $400 million plane. Trump's not, no, quid pro quo. Of course not. Listen to Caroline, and you tell me whether this inspires confidence. You tell me whether she sounds believable.
Can you clarify that Qatar is giving us a new Air Force One as a personal gift to President Trump? Are they gifting it to the country? What could you tell us about this luxury liner that looks like a hotel on the air?
Well, the Qatari government has graciously offered to donate a plane to the Department of Defense.
What a beautiful donation.
The legal details of that are still being worked out, but
that's a little TBD. We're working out the legality, Brian, but don't worry about that.
of course, any donation to this government is always done in full compliance with the law, and we commit ourselves to the utmost transparency, and we will continue to do that.
Do you worry that if they give us something like this, they want something in return?
Absolutely not, because they know President Trump, and they know he only works with the interests of the American public in mind.
Of course. The Qataris would never think, never, that Trump is the type of person who, if you give him a $400 million gift, he would do something for you. Never, ever, ever. It's constitutionally not who Donald Trump is. And of course, if you believe that, I have blanket tariffs being good for the United States to sell you. It's beyond parody. What can we say? What can we say? And it's, of course, also, Trump aside, it's really common that people give out $400 million gifts expecting nothing in return, a completely sane and rational thing to do for the gifter as well. Okay, the topic of pharmaceutical prices also did come up during this interview with Caroline Leavitt. Now, let me set this up for you. Donald Trump posted an endlessly long tirade to Truth Central about prescription drugs, and I'm not going to read the whole thing. But part of what he includes here is the announcement that at the White House, he will be signing one of the most consequential executive orders in history to reduce prescription drug and pharmaceutical prices almost immediately by 30 to 80%. And how he's going to do this isn't clear. Whether this is even something you can do via executive order, it sounds like the answer is no. None of it makes even a modicum of sense. And Brian Kilmeade asked Caroline Leavitt about it and asked, how exactly does this work? And her answer leaves a little bit of detail to be desired.
So this pharmaceutical deal, I'm just going off the Truth Social post. It says, it's a long one, but he says, I'm pleased to announce that today, the White House at 9 o'clock will be signing one of the most consequential executive orders ever. They will be reducing pharmaceuticals by about 80%. Essentially, we are going to pay less than the country that's paying the least for pharmaceuticals from here on in. How does that work?
Yeah, I love that. How exactly does that work? Okay, so that, because it doesn't exactly sound logical. So then we go back to Caroline Leavitt, and here's her answer.
He overstated how big of a deal this executive order that President Trump will be signing in a couple of hours is for American families, and especially our seniors who have been ripped off by very large and rich pharmaceutical companies. The United States of America is less than 5% of the world's population, yet we purchase 75% of Big Pharma's profits. We pay an astronomical amount in comparison to other countries around the world. So the president is signing an executive order today that is going to implement most favored nations drug pricing and is going to reduce the cost of drugs in this country by more than half at least. America is going to pay a better rate and a fairer rate to the rest of the world.
Notice, by the way, that Brian Kilmeade says it's going to cut prices 80%. Caroline Leavitt says it's going to cut them at least half, at least 50%. Trump's own Truth post says it will be 30 to 80%, which is quite a range. But forget about the fact that the numbers don't make any sense. They're not giving us the mechanism through which this is going to happen. Oh, Trump's going to sign an executive order, which Trump seems to think is legislation, but it's not. Trump's going to sign an executive order and the prices are just going to drop. And of course, the question is, they're going to drop how? Are pharmacy benefit managers going to be the ones that change the prices? Are the pharmaceutical companies going to be the ones that have to sell to the distributors and the PBMs and the pharmacies at a lower rate? Or is it that there's going to be a government subsidy on the pricing for the end user? Will this apply to both hospitals as well as individuals getting? There's no answer. There's no mechanism. There's no explanation. And of course, it's completely dubious at its face that this is going to happen. Now, do we need to deal with prescription drug prices? Of course. One of the things Biden did, and you could say he wasn't a good president or he shouldn't have run for re-election. Let's just talk about what he did. The mechanism for working on drug prices was, let's first identify the 10 most prescribed drugs for Medicare recipients. Let's get the manufacturers of those drugs to the table to negotiate the price that Medicare will pay. And let's come to an agreement that's going to lower prices on those drugs. That is an actionable and sort of tractable way to do it. Now, is it all going to happen by the deadline? Well, we will see. But this executive order to drop prices 30, 50, 80%, this is the sort of stuff of fairy tales. And they all play their role. Trump's troths play the role.
Troth essential.
Right. Brian Kilmeade plays part of a role in it. Caroline Levitt plays her role in it. And then at the end of the day, we say, so what's the mechanism for dropping the prices? We just don't know. When it was time for a new mattress, I didn't want to gamble on something generic. I had heard about Helix. I liked that they customized the mattress based on how you sleep. I'm mostly a stomach sleeper, so I took the quiz and ended up with a model that felt tailored to me. I've had it for years. What I notice is I don't wake up with back stiffness. I don't wake up with shoulder pain. I don't toss and turn looking for a comfortable position. It's just better than my old mattress. It's more supportive, but it's still comfortable. Another thing I like about Helix is that there's no one-size-fits-all approach. It's really tailored to you in terms of firmness as well. It's made a difference for me, and I'm thrilled to be partnering with them. And right now, Helix is running a huge sale, 27% off site-wide, plus a free bedding bundle. That's a sheet set and a mattress protector with any Luxe or Elite mattress order. Go to helixsleep.com/Pacman to check it out. The link is in the description.